Welcome everybody to our webinar this afternoon. We appreciate really much. We appreciate very much that you are attending this webinar today. We're going to talk about the hybrid classroom and the hybrid meeting rooms and how it will look in the future and what the best gadget is that you can get at the moment to make sure that your hybrid meeting room and classroom is, well, the best performing room in your building. I'm gonna first share with you the agenda for today. So we're first gonna talk about the trends and developments in the meeting space and the classrooms. After that, we're gonna introduce you our new Scribe product. We're gonna show you how it works, and we're gonna end with an educational case where we show you how the product is working and that they have tested it in the past. Today we're presenting with, we have two Joost presenting to you. First Joost Jette, after that Joost Brinkers, and myself, Angela Hordijk. I will hand over the word to Joost, and I hope you really much appreciate. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat, and one of our colleagues, Arno or Alex, will reply to you as fast as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Angela. Welcome everybody. Also from the first Joost in this meeting. I think we are in an interesting time. I really appreciated that you guys are in this meeting today, in this webinar today, because of the temperature in the Netherlands is about 30 degrees, which makes you want to work from anywhere, and that's also what we want to talk about. So it means that you can also watch this webinar out of the car, from the terrace. And I think that's really where it's all about, that you can work from anywhere and that you can also learn from anywhere. We see a big trend happening specifically after COVID time, is that 30 to 70% of the workers will be working from home on any particular time. So what we're seeing is that people normally say we take a day home to work, or now we're saying, okay, when will your time at the office will be? Now, to get everybody included and to get everybody inclusive, we are discussing the way that we want to have the video room or the meeting room or the classroom equipped with video. What we're seeing is that the teachers before the pandemic were about digital say half an hour to an hour a day, and inside the pandemic that increased because all the students were sent home and the teacher had to do this, of course, digitally. And now we believe that also after the pandemic that will change. So hybrid lessons and hybrid classrooms is also a trend in education. Now, in that means is also that same trend is happening in the office and remote. So we as Logitech, we believe that there is a remote world. There is a hybrid world. That means that you can also work from home and learn from home. And that means that all our concepts and all our solutions will fit to the right purpose. Of course, we also do understand is that specific customers or education respect different needs. And we would like to see how we can fulfill that with the introduction of our new products, but also the solution as of today. The reasoning why is that we call that video everywhere. And actually better than being there, because you want to create a solution, you want to create an experience that the teacher or the people that does the presentation or do the presentation or the team that is working can also be inclusive with the people on the other side. So a big event like this afternoon when the Netherlands team plays against Austria, you want to be there. At the same time, not everybody can be there, so you want to watch it on a big screen. And that's actually the same as how you enjoy work and how you can enjoy education. So the office will change. We see that big trend. So where the office is going to be in the near future, we believe it will be a place where people come together, collaborate, but also people will be working from home. And how do you keep those people inclusive in the activities that you're doing? Because work is something, and education is also something that you want to be part of something bigger than yourself. Because belonging to something is a real normal need of people. And that's why we are working, and that's why we are working together. Of course, we use the office and we use each other in a team, like mentoring, helping each other to go to the next level. We use the office, we use the space for creativity. We use whiteboarding for that. We use opportunities that we have our mindset and not being behind the computer all day, but using it as a complete example that people can work together. What we found out, and of course you all find it out, is that the explosion in meeting rooms has been there. In classroom, the same thing, is that all the digital whiteboards made their entrance into those rooms. When we did our investigation with teachers, we found out most of those whiteboards were never used. What we do find out also is that there are a lot of whiteboards and flip overs, actually also, are in every room. So not even in the classrooms, but also in the meeting rooms. You can see it on this picture. You can see also the combination already with digital. But if you want to put that in one space, so how do you want to connect the digital environment and the analog environment together? That's just what we think as Logitech we will find together with you the perfect solution. Because we want to have creativity. We want to have these Scrum sessions, but we also want to have other kind of sessions where we use the whiteboard. We want to do brainstorming. Now, brainstorming for us is very important because that creates an explosion of creativity. It creates processes between people, and actually it creates new products or new solutions to something. We use it in a way of selling. If we write it down, it's written on paper, and if it's written on paper or written on a whiteboard, it makes it real. We look at it as engineering. We start using the whiteboard and helping the audience to get to a difficult solution or explaining a diagram. Of course, all these stuff can be done automatically, but also analog. The other part of it is the very most important part also of today is education. It's maybe one of the most difficult cases to crack, because on education, you need the interaction with the students. Now, when we were being forced in the pandemic, we saw a huge increase in digitalization. We saw a huge increase in using webcams, but we also understood that we have to come to a sort of hybrid classroom, because you will always have the opportunity or the situation that students will not be in the classroom, but you also want to have the interaction with that. So basically, what we are looking at as Logitech is that digital learning and digital meetings is for everyone. And the most important example of that in the way how we use it is with video, because video brings that solution together. And video is actually gives us that feeling then better than being there, because you always want to be there. But if the situation cannot make it happen that you're really there, then video is the best alternative. If you look into the classroom and you look actually at the meeting rooms, you see that whiteboard. And that whiteboard has been used as maybe as a problem or as a problem solving, because we use it to use it. We write on it, we put stamps on it, etc. And then we will take a picture of it, and then we will share the picture with everybody, so everybody has the ideas of yesterday, of the meeting of today. It's also where we have the whiteboarding on a screen. So you see here a setting of Logitech, where you also have a whiteboard, but how do you capture the information that is being done by the person on the other side of the world? So capture the information. And also, again, which I already stated, is we brought a lot of whiteboards, digital whiteboards into the room, but are they really solving the problem? And we believe they're not, but they can be, of course, be used complementary to the solution we bring. So what we wanted to do is to create a product that uses the installed base of the whiteboards, and of course gives the whiteboard another opportunity to keep the creativity inside the meeting room and inside the education, but leveling actually the playing field for remote participants. So when you're not in the room and you want to be part of that creative process or the instruction where people want to write on a whiteboard, you can. And this is why we brought the Scribe camera to the market. And Scribe, and the nice word after Scribe is artificial intelligence, because it's a learning camera. It learns to adapt and to work together with you and together with your audience to make sure that everything what you capture, you can share. Now, the proof is always in the pudding. So I hand over to the other Joost for today, Joost Brinkers, to show us how Scribe really works. Joost, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, and then the most exciting part is for me also the most dangerous part, because we are trying to do a live demonstration now. And as you may know, live demonstrations are always difficult to do. So to start with, this is the Logitech Scribe, a nice, elegant, designed content camera that is fixed to the wall above the whiteboard to make sure that also the scalability and the installation is done easily. It's always on the same place, always installed easily. If we switch to the multi-view where you can see the output of the Scribe camera, then you can see that I can write here and that all the intelligence is in the camera. So the AI technology where Joost Jeppe was talking about is all built in the camera. And that is a big difference with other whiteboard cameras. They leverage the technology from the software that is behind it. There's no software behind this. The output of the Scribe camera is a USB webcam signal and can be used in all the platforms that we know and is in that sense platform independent. And that makes it very easy to use. So making sure that you're that the person in front of the camera or the hand in front of the camera is not visible, making sure that the content has the most attention in the camera feed, that is the most important part of what we are trying to do here. On the other hand, we look at scalability, we look at cable management. So we have made the Logitech Scribe easy to install with an included cable management system over a standardized Cat5 cabling. The same Cat5 cabling that you may or not may know from our tab touch controller. So if I draw that, and that is what I use Scribe a lot for, I use it a lot to explain better on what I'm telling. So if I would draw here a wall with a whiteboard, we have the Scribe camera above that whiteboard that can nicely capture the whiteboard. That whiteboard can be 2 meters wide, 1.2 meters high. So we have a very large canvas that we can capture digitally. From that Scribe camera, we get a standardized Cat5 cable. That goes into a power injector that some of you may know from the network. It's the same kind of power injector. We call it a POO injector. It's not Ethernet. Let me state that very clear. It's not an Ethernet connection, but it uses the same technology to make sure we can power the whole thing. And then at the end, we continue with a Cat5 cable and we finish with a small adapter that has a USB connection. Include all the cabling, all the power injector, all the adapters, everything, including the mount and a nice measuring tool to install it correctly is all included in the box. Included is also the Cat5 cabling, but if you have a different situation where you need to install it, you can use up to a total of 40 meters of Cat5 cabling. So that makes it very easy to install in all different kinds of rooms. With this demonstration, you can also see the difference between a content camera, a whiteboard content camera, and a camera that I point at the whiteboard. So you're looking at my feed exactly to the same whiteboard as that the Scribe camera is, but you can see the better effect and the better, no, I'm missing the word, sorry. The better attention to the content instead of me writing on the whiteboard. You still want to see me writing on the whiteboard, but you want more interest in the content that I'm writing on it itself. That is nice writing on a whiteboard, but there's more. We can also do with that machine learning and that AI stuff that is in the camera built in, stuff like post-its. So if I place a post-it on the whiteboard, the AI technology will pick it up, and I can even write on this whiteboard, on this post-it. And it is nicely captured in the AI technology and outputted to the content stream of your conference application. If I move it, it will nicely pick it up and make the source correct and again. That was it.
Any thinking about when it comes out of the box and you have to put it in the right brackets on the
Yeah, so there's a small placement measuring tool in the box to make sure that you place it nicely above the whiteboard and you have the maximum height of your whiteboard captured.
And it will automatically calibrate the screen?
Very good. So other solutions like our Brio webcam in combination with a Microsoft Teams Room solution, the calibration of where to capture the whiteboard is done in the Microsoft Teams software. But that is done each time that you start the camera, and if there's sunlight or a change in the room, that capturing could be wrong because it's an AI technology that measures where the corners of the whiteboard are. We do that a small bit different. So we use our sync tool for that. And you have only to do that once because the information is stored on the camera itself. But with our sync software, we can nicely automate where it needs to capture. And if that is incorrect for some reason, or it's a very large Smith visual wall, for instance, from floor to the ceiling, you can drag and drop the corners on the place where you want to have them. You click store and it is stored in the camera, and you can easily swap it to different laptops or different systems, and it will always nicely capture where it needs to capture. And with that, I think I will give it back to Joost Jette, or to Angela.
You have something about the button.
The button, very good, very good. We are in conversation with all the platforms, and now when at launch, we have a combination with the Zoom rooms. So not the Zoom client on your laptop, but with the Zoom rooms, we have a share button. And the share button is a Bluetooth button connected to the Scribe camera that can make sure that if you press the button, you can stick it next to the whiteboard. And as soon as you press it, it will make sure that the Zoom room system, in that case, will start sharing the whiteboard. Why is that important? You want to have as minimum handling for the end user to start using it in the correct way. So if you don't use a share button, you need to go back to the tab controller, you need to click content sharing, content camera, and we skip those parts with the share button. As soon as you press the button, it will start sharing in your content window. So that is maybe also a good thing to mention. The Celestia camera is meant to share in the content stream, not in your main camera stream. So you can have both in the same at the same time. You can see me on the main camera, but you can also see in the content stream the Scribe camera.
We have a question. We have a question coming in, which is, what if you write faster? Does it register everything? And is the white color on a colored post-it more readable? So we'll also hand you over a other color post-it. Here you go.
So what you will see with other colors, maybe, I cannot see my own feedback, so you can see a bit of a glare on it, but the glare will be gone as soon as I write something on it. And now it will start capturing, and it will you will see it clearly. If I write faster, you will see that it maybe not pick up immediately, but it will always comes afterwards. So it's not that if it didn't capture at the start, it will make sure that it will capture later. So if it's correct, you can still see the 4 times fast over here. Faster than this, I cannot write. Maybe if I draw, I can do it faster, but not in writing. I'm not sure how fast it was and if it was fast enough.
Next questions, because there are questions coming in.
Yeah, perfect.
This one
questions are always good.
I agree. This one is in Dutch, so I have to translate it, but that will be no problem. There has been said something about flip overs several times. Can you tell me if there's also a mount for that?
So there's not a mount for it, not yet at least. So there are manufacturers like Smith Visual and others that are now adjusting our mounting that is included in the box for their solution. So we are not going to create a mount for a flip over, but others will.
And how small can he capture text? So I think you have to show very small writing.
That is as small as I can write with a
Oh, it's perfectly seeable, so I think that's great. Then another question, is there a plan in the future to integrate with Microsoft Whiteboard?
Microsoft Whiteboard, yeah, that's a very good question because Microsoft Whiteboard is a software solution. So Microsoft Whiteboard is not a capturing, it's a software whiteboard. So the only thing that we can think of what could be technically possible is that you can make a still capture of this and import it back in Microsoft Whiteboard. It would be very nice if we could automate it. Someone is signaling to me, so I'm waiting for what she's going to say.
There are some questions about the button. So can the share button only be applied to Zoom or also to other programs such as Teams and WebEx?
Yeah, so that's the development we are working on. Microsoft was a bit busy with Microsoft Teams on Android, so their development was a bit behind is not a nice word to say, but they had other priorities at the moment. But Microsoft Teams Rooms will be there. And I can expect that also the desktop clients will continue later on. It's not the technology itself is not a problem, but more that you need to adjust the software of different manufacturers for that.
Another good one is coming in. Is the Scribe only available from the Room solution, or can I also connect my laptop?
Yeah, so you can connect everything you want because it's a USB webcam signal. In my home office, I use Scribe for a bit of time now already to draw stuff like schemas. I just connected to my laptop. The thing is, you need some sort of software. So I use the camera tool of Microsoft and then screen share the whole thing. Other solutions are with the Zoom desktop client, for instance. You can have under share, you can have a second camera, and then you can share literally the native, the Scribe camera in your Zoom call. So for everything, there's a solution. The less interesting solution is that you change it for your webcam signal, but then you lose the interaction between your own camera and the Scribe camera. So that is doable. It's possible, but not the most efficient way. Good questions.
What about, I keep coming. Well, not I keep, but the questions keep on coming.
Yeah, please do.
What if you write on a, does it also capture the post-it when written on them with a normal pen?
Normal pen, so yeah, as long as it's readable and thick enough. Yeah.
Okay, so not with a Sharpie, so a ballpoint pen?
Yeah, it could capture it under the right circumstances, but nobody can read it. If I would do that here and standing over there, you couldn't read it also. So that you need a particular thickness to capture it correctly and make sure that the other end can see it.
Oh, okay. Can I combine the Scribe with Ready Bar when I do not use the tab?
I do not use the tab. So let me be clear that the Rally Bar at this point is supported with Zoom Rooms, PackZip, RingCentral, and GoToMeeting, I need to say. The Zoom Room version for Android, or the Zoom Room version for CollabOS, is not yet supporting a content camera. We are very hard working on that, But at the moment, there is no scenario where you can connect Scribe to the rally bar. That will come soon, but not at this moment. So at this moment, we are focusing on the Windows platforms. But it will come soon, believe me.
If you use Scribe in Teams on your laptop, how do you get it in the content channel and not into
via screen sharing? So you open the camera tool of Windows, you put that on your screen, or you select with screen sharing only the application, and then you can share it.
When would you choose to use the Scribe over an interactive flat panel?
So there's a reason why we brought Scribe to the market. Not all rooms are equipped with an interactive panel, a touchscreen. If you have the touchscreen, not everyone has the adoption process to make that work correctly. So you need some sort of an adoption process for your users to make sure that you can use an interactive panel with whiteboarding software and sharing that in a call. We made a camera that is very easily installed, very easily operated, and can be used on every type of whiteboard that you can imagine. Now I use a framed whiteboard. You can also think about whiteboards that are complete walls, and they are already in the meeting rooms. I cannot imagine a company that doesn't have already somewhere a whiteboard or use a whiteboard. So we try to be a bridge in the gap between where you normally go all to the office to brainstorm about something. You already use the whiteboard. Now people are more remote, and you can still do the whiteboarding and brainstorm. So that is more, there's a bigger install base on whiteboards than on interactive panels, and there's a lot more easier to use solution in the Scribe than the interactive flat panels. And don't forget, an interactive flat panel, including the hardware needed to make sure that it does a correct whiteboarding, is a lot more expensive than a camera, very nice, purpose-built camera on top of an existing whiteboard. Okay, that were the questions I get. So
for now, yeah.
For now, yeah. And please don't forget, if you have any more questions, please contact us, and we will make sure you get the right answers.
Joost, you're up again?
Yeah. I can get the presentation screen back.
Yeah.
Just want to skip. Yeah, got it. Yeah. So just to of course, the demo is not speaking completely for itself. By the way, of course, great to see the questions and the interaction, because that's what we do it for. It's really great to have everybody involved in this. A lot of people in the call today. Next to this, it's also interesting how we build Scribe today in our studio. We are in a place in Laren. It's called the Groene Afslag, where we have built a Learn Anywhere classroom, and I will show you that in a minute, in combination with Scribe. We wanted to see if we want to use that classroom, but we also said, okay, let's try to build a right out of the box solution, a content camera right out of the box in this little studio. And we did. So the things what you're seeing today, the demo that we're doing, was actually a Scribe camera coming out of the box about 3 hours ago. So it means that we are up and running to give you a full demo on a Scribe product with a whiteboard within 3 hours. So it means also the ease of use and the way of Logitech building those products. Now in this picture, and also with the future development, you see the meeting room in a very nice picture. You see the dual screens, you see the rally bar in the off-white color, and you see the whiteboard there in combination with the Scribe. So it means also there is a very nice normal sequence of a digital video meeting room. If you write on it, you can see the difference between 1 and 2, and you get actually great views when you are in the room and at the same time when you are on remote. And on the left side down, you see the purple button, which also will come in white, to have that one-click experience, just to enter the Contentcamera into the room. As Logitech, we are making products that we can do worldwide. The reasoning of course, today speaking English is that we have a lot of more people in the call than only Dutch. And it means also that these products are available. So if you are part of an international organization, these products will be available around the globe. That makes it easy to install. So we have easy cable management, like Joost was explaining. We have good cabling, and it calls all together. So it comes in one box. Now, as you know, if you've been seeing our webinars and our products before, we have the right and the proper cable management, because we also know that when you put these products into meeting rooms or into places where different people come, it's always important that the cable will work and that the product will work, because otherwise you're not going to the office or you're not going to the classroom. So it has to work. That makes us cable management quite unique and quite good. Now, the cable management is enterprise graded. It's also the connection that we make via the internet directly to the device. It's all in there. And it all comes together in a nice box, in a nice kit, which actually I tried to put it on the wall. And if it succeeds me, I think everybody can do this. And that's the Joost not being the technical one, but Joost Brink has explained it to me how easy it works. So plug and play real. It's a combination of everything: whiteboard sharing for video meetings, purpose-built for room solutions, eventually simple to use. The camera is learning. So most of our products that we are now bringing into the meeting room, like our rally bar, is AI. So what we're actually doing is that we use the AI as an additional camera or an additional feature to make it more clever, to give it information to the people that use it, the people that control it, how we can improve the products into the meeting room. And for instance, what we learned also is that when we do with the rally bar, we do people count. It is actually very interesting, because you have combinations of other products and competition that is using face recognition. But if you're wearing a head mask, how will it recognize the people in the room and how many people are there? So the cameras will get ballistics. That's why we are using people count and body count. And that makes also that we have feedback on how many people are in the room. And that can also help you, of course, with your way of how you have to plan your meeting rooms, because people are still working from home and people are being in the meeting room. It works as a USB camera, so easy to plug, in-plug. It works in our complete device management. So under the people that are familiar with Sync, it fits in the Sync platform. So you can actually monitor it. You can upgrade it with the latest firmware. And you have all kind of additional tools there that you can really manage your meeting rooms. And next to that, we offer, plus the 2 years warranty, and an additional 1 year extra warranty. So 3-year warranty for all our meeting room solutions. If you take this in the design-wise, because as you know, Logitech, we are not making products that are, actually, to say it honestly, ugly. We make very nice products. And you see this product, again, when you look at it, it really fits into the meeting room. You saw it on the picture before. It fits in the total line with the rally camera and rally bar mini. It fits in that solution together with the tab. And we showed this picture to many of you earlier before, actually in the presentations of January and later on, is that we have solutions for the small, medium, and large meeting room. So you have the meetup, which can go to the executive office. It can also go into the smaller meeting rooms, into the huddle rooms. For a little bit bigger rooms, we have the Rally Bar Mini, then we have the Rally Bar, and then we, of course, also have the solution for the Rally Plus. Now, if you take that into consideration of the solutions that we were offering, is also that we created something really bigger. So we talked about meeting rooms, and if we talk about meeting rooms, we also want to talk about classrooms. And this is a little video I would like to share with you, just to get you an idea of what we are doing in the classrooms together, eventually also with Scribe.
Education is really on the move. Lessons need to go ahead whatever the circumstances, even if students can't be physically present in the classroom. As a teacher, you would naturally prefer to teach the way you're used to teaching. In front of your class, writing on a whiteboard to illustrate what you're saying, and with a digital solution for presentations. But what if circumstances make it impossible to teach traditionally? Learn Anywhere is an innovative all-round solution that allows teachers to continue teaching the traditional way and students to follow the lessons at any time from anywhere. Learn Anywhere combines a large analog writing surface with an enormous interactive projection surface. Thanks to the smart combination of tried and tested hardware and software, everyone at home and in the classroom has a good view of the teacher, the whiteboard, the digital presentation, and each other. The screen at the back of the classroom allows the teacher to keep an eye on all the students. The control panel makes it easy to start the lesson. It couldn't be any simpler. This solution works with Microsoft Teams. Learn Anywhere prepares schools and colleges for every possible situation. Traditional teaching with all the students present and the teacher writing on an analog board. Contemporary teaching supported by digital tools. Teaching in hybrid situations, with some students in the classroom and others following the lesson at home, and entirely remote teaching, where the teacher can use all the supporting resources that they would use in an ordinary lesson, and where the students can see the teacher's written text using the Contentcamera while the teacher becomes transparent. Learn Anywhere offers education the best of 4 worlds in a single solution: analog, digital, local, and remote. Contact us now via our website for a demonstration.
I think I'm back in audio. This is what you saw from the total solution from Learn Anywhere, which is actually the biggest solution we have for education, and of course also for learning rooms, for big training rooms, as we call them. And you saw that we were using Microsoft Teams as the platform, and also the Brio camera in this interactive part. Now, of course, with the introduction of Scribe, we will be replacing the Brio camera with the Scribe. That means that you have even a more quality and a more better experience on this product or on this concept. And at the same time, due to the fact that we are using Scribe, we can also make it available for Zoom. And we were firstly, of course, the first steps we took with Microsoft Teams. Now we can also offer that for Zoom, which I think is a big improvement. And it also shows us again that we are also not having a static concept, but also a concept that can work going forward. Now, if you take that into total solutions, hybrid learning, we have all kinds of solutions with different cameras where teachers want to use our products. So this is a solution that you can have. On the right side, you see the different products that we can offer. You can also use only the teacher setup with the Logitech Meetup in the room in a way that it shows the teacher and it does the online digital learning part. If you want to do online clip lecturing, you can do it in your own environment with the Logitech Brio camera in conjunction with our Blue microphones, which is also a Logitech company. So a full solution for people that want to use the advantage of Learn Anywhere. Of course, as I already stated, the best solution is that people come into a classroom. At the same time, we learned from the 1.5 years before us that is not always possible. And if you want to be prepared for something happening, and it cannot also be a bad thing, but it can also be a positive thing that people say, okay, I just want to join, but I'm not able to come. You always have these hybrid possibilities available because you're using the video and you're using the equipment. And this is the one that we have basically introduced today, which you see the whiteboard in combination with the Logitech Scribe. And this is a bigger picture. So it works as a USB content camera. So if you add that towards the total solution, we are working very closely together with Chameleon, which is the brand by Smith Visual, a manufacturer and a great company from the Netherlands. And what Smith Visual has done, they have created for all the setups that we have in the meeting rooms, they have created a whiteboard solution. And of course, if you go to their catalogs, you can find all kinds of whiteboards that are really compatible with Logitech Scribe. So we gave you an idea of how, if you take the next step into getting your meeting rooms decided and divided into 4 concepts, small, medium, large, and the smaller room, huddle room, or the one-on-one rooms, whatever people want to call them, there is a solution also for Chameleon in combination with Scribe. Now, already stated by Angela, we have been working on the concept from Learn Anywhere already for a little bit more than a year. And that was the early stage of driving hybrid education. Now, the situation is that today, and maybe you have seen already yesterday, the announcement is that together with the Tilburg University and the technical team over there, and together with all the partners, Epson, Extron, Microsoft Teams, in combination with that, we were able to win one of the most prestigious awards in the market, actually a global award, which is the best overall AV-enabled education space 2020. And that's an education space which is at the Tilburg University, where Learn Anywhere is already a part of the total experience that you can have on hybrid learning and hybrid teaching. Now, for us, it's a really great step. Secondly, because the project and the concept is developing again into a better concept, because we're now replacing the Brio camera, which is actually a camera that you use for personal collaboration. So you use it at home with your monitor. And now we can introduce Scribe to that. So the concept is even getting better, and we already won this great award. So we're very, very happy with that. As we speak, we are building in the Netherlands and Belgium a bit more educational spaces, so classrooms, the place where we are today, in this studio in the Groene Afslag in Laren, we have a Learn Anywhere classroom. So we will invite you as participants of this call to register and to join us for a free lesson and a more detailed demonstration of the possibilities and the solutions that we have. You can easily go to the website, but also after this webinar, you will get more information about that. So you can really see what really works the best for you in the classroom, but also, of course, works for you in the best in the meeting room. And of course, the experts of Smith Visual are also available to look specifically at your complete office to make it more attractive for the people that say, I take a day at the office instead of working from home. Because if you talk about the new normal, we believe that will be the new normal. Then I would like to thank you for your attention. I believe there are a lot of questions. We are still here. The chat is still open. Maybe it's a good idea, Joost, if you can maybe answer some of the questions live. Maybe we do the same interaction, because I think we have a little bit of time still left. Angela, do you have some?
I wasn't expecting live.
No, well, live is good, huh?
Yep.
So one question that I saw coming by was, if it's driverless. Yes, it's driverless. It's a USB UVC signal, the same signal that comes from webcams. So the same way as a webcam is driverless, if you plug in a Logitech Brio as your webcam, you will see the same effect with a Scribe camera.
So it's actually plug and play.
Plug and play.
I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Amazing. Amazing.
Interesting question on the chat.
Yeah.
Does Learn Anywhere also works with an interactive touchscreen display, or only with projectors?
So the Learn Anywhere, yeah. So Learn Anywhere is a concept based on short throw projectors. There's a big reason for that, because the Learn Anywhere solution is built around a 6 meter long whiteboard where you can have multiple scenarios, where also a scenario is where you don't use any technology. If you are a math teacher, you don't want to use technology. You want to have your marker and 6 meters of whiteboard, and you want to continue.
If you generalize a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Something like that, yeah. And you can write on a whiteboard. The other scenario is where you want to support your education with some presentations or with video. Then you can have the middle on the middle board. You can have the first projector on, and you can present your laptop or your teacher PC that is in the room. And the full hybrid solution is then where you have 2 projectors where you can see the remote participants, you can see the shared content, and you still have an analog board that you can use with the Scribe camera to make that digital for the remote participants. So making it in a LCD touchscreen, yes, technology-wise it's possible, but it isn't the concept of Learn Anywhere.
But I can imagine that people have an interactive whiteboard and they look at this solution and they have opportunity, because we saw
interactive panels.
Yeah. So is there any, because the combination is always possible between analog and digital.
Absolutely.
It's all about what your total cost of ownership would be.
Yeah. So if you are now an educational institute and you already have your LCD touchscreens, you don't have to throw them away, but make sure that there's an analog board next to it with a Scribe camera, because you will see that the adoption of an analog board is way quicker and higher than
and normal, because people are writing still. Because one of the things that we found out when we did the checks that people want to write down and then they don't want to have any hassle. Just it has to be consumed.
Exactly.
And I think from what we also learned from Learn Anywhere, and that's something which I sometimes can do, is that I just log into a classroom as a teacher or doing a college thing on Logitech, and I can log in and I'll be part of the meeting and I do my presentation and go out again and the lesson continues again. So that gives the whole dynamic of the hybrid classroom.
Exactly. And another scenario is where the teacher is not present. So you have someone supporting in the classroom to make sure that the children don't break anything, but the teacher...
Children won't break anything.
It's always the fault of the technology. I know.
Of course.
They can break something in the room.
Yeah, they can break something. Yeah, they normally break stuff. So that's why in educational institutes, everything is locked away and stuff like that. No worries there. But think about suddenly at 9 o'clock, the teacher cannot be there.
Yeah.
And he needs to stay home because he's in quarantine or something like that. It doesn't matter. He can still do it from his laptop and still present to the whole classroom. Large in the picture, his content and his webcam.
And the students are in the classroom or remotely at home if they chose to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are more flexible.
Way more flexible. With the same system, you can have all the different scenarios.
And I think it was also the way that we have built it, because we built it from everybody had to go to home, especially also in my personal environment. My daughter had to go home.
Yep.
And then you see how can you continue. Now, we thought of something all together with all the, and that was also a nice thing to do together with Tilburg University to make something which is durable, because we hope that this situation will never happen again, but something else can happen, that the teacher is ill.
We don't know.
And the lessons have to
We didn't know Corona.
We thought it was after,
maybe the next thing. Yeah.
Was after 6 months we thought it was gone.
Be prepared for the things you don't know yet.
Could be, yeah. Okay. Anything else, Angela?
Yes, we have received multiple questions about combining scribes for a bigger whiteboard. So maybe you can tell more about that.
So at the moment, no. But we are...
That's a technical answer. The commercial guy would say
soon. At the moment, no. And that is because we are investigating. So I cannot elaborate on things we don't know yet. There is a scenario possible. Technically in our head is possible to have multiple scribes next to each other, and based on which share button you press, that will be the active feed that you will see. So that is something we are working on with the share button and the command that is coming from that and stuff like that. Why is it not possible at this moment? Because that share button is always the same signal, so we cannot differentiate.
There's a bit of a technical limitation which we are discussing.
We are trying to overcome it. Okay. The other thing is the ask that was of the question that we received earlier was, can you not stitch it together? I cannot stitch literally the video 3 times next to each other. But you need to think about that you see now the Logitech logo as a shared screen. If I stitch 3 of those screens next to each other, you will get big black bars.
Yeah.
To make it possible in a normal screen. Doesn't fit, and you cannot read any content.
And then you go back to the solution we took together with Epson to have projectors there on the whiteboard. And that's why we did that. Yep. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Anything else, Angela? I'm looking at the time. I think we...
No, there are no questions coming in anymore.
Okay.
There's one question left, and that is what I've seen multiple times. Will this webinar or will this session be live, also available for the people that did attend? I will make sure that
did not attend, you mean?
No, also the people that do attend.
Okay,
the people that do attend would like to receive the
recordings
of the session.
They want to keep me on my word. Yeah.
Exactly. So we will make sure that this webinar comes live on Logitech.com under the resource part of the website.
Perfect. I think we're happy to share in the rulings that we have, and that's why we of course made the recording of it. Of course, just fill in the forms, and we will find my team and the team will find you to elaborate a little bit more on the possibilities that we have within Logitech in the hybrid world of working from anywhere and learning from anywhere. I think we added another dimension towards it. I believe that the technology is available, basically also because of the platform is available, all the data is in the cloud, so you can work and you can basically learn from anywhere. At the same time, you want to have that interaction together, so you can really choose going to the office or going to the classroom. And it all depends, of course, on the guy.
Or stay at home.
Or just stay at home, as you said, but it all depends on the guy that is standing in front that you want to listen to live or you just want to listen on video. Or the girl, of course. Yeah. So I would like to thank you for your attention. Really, really appreciate all the interactions, especially on this nice warm day, finally in the Netherlands. Hoping to have a great win tonight. I think 3-0, 2 times Weghorst, 1 times Wijnaldum. You can count me on that because it's recorded. And then I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.